for them. Okay, tell me, when that person gets matter for court, can you think say the judge will overlook the matter? Because he has bought his conscience, he built house for him, buy vehicle for him, do other things for him. Can you overlook that kind of person who do all these things for you? So my brother, the court now, going to court, it's just be like you are just going to waste your time.
Yeah, but judges should have houses to live in, and they should have cars as well, shouldn't they?
But even though they have the politicians, they are using this thing to confuse them. Are you getting me?
Mm.
If not, how can number 4 become number 1 for this country? My brother, leave him. Only God will save us. Only God. Because me, I no trust now any judges. I no trust them. All of them. I no trust them.
Well, there might be challenges with the justice delivery system in the country, but I'm certain that we still have incorruptible judges, who will do the right thing. Hello, Hot Factor, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Hello, go on.
Yeah, this is Mr. Hart. I'm calling from Abba.
Go ahead.
Yes, the NLC, if I'm not mistaken, what they are threatening to do, we see no light of the day, honestly, because if I'm a judge now, I want to be in the legal corridor, and you name and shame me or bring the whole of shame, I can easily sue you, because I don't see any law backing them. I can sue them for defamation of character. So only what I'm just begging is that let the judges do what is right, because it's likely that they are going to be the last hope of common man. But this one, government is telling us, or the institution is telling us, if you don't like what it is, go to court. My brother, I don't trust them all. Thank you, and my sake.
You're welcome also. What's your take? Will the NLC's threat in any way impact, affect the judges, or will it have any impact on the decisions reached by the election petitions tribunals across the country? 91.3, welcome.
Yeah, Bayo, good evening, sir.
Hello, go on.
When we talk about judges in Nigeria, if you look at the case, there is one judgment that was given that up to now yet to recover from that judgment. It's the judgment of the Senate President.
Mm.
He did not contest. He did not partake in what they did, and the judgment was that he won that whole thing. Somebody that did not partake in what they did. Look at the case of Akpabio also. The NLC people that are saying that they will shame judges and all that, these judges, if you accuse somebody without clear evidence of what you want to do by shaming the person may sue you for that. So it might be very difficult for them when it comes to that time to do that, because they'll be afraid to dent an image of somebody without evidence. So that thing they're just saying, when the time comes, they'll not be able to say it, because they'll be very afraid to say it that time, because the person may sue them. So all those things is just nothing will happen at the end of the day.
And you don't think that this will affect the judges in any way? Obviously, doesn't think so. Well, let's get your take as well. Did I hear you say incorruptible judges? Ha ha ha. I laugh. I remember that novel, The Incorruptible Judge, that Nigeria's case is irredeemable. I'm not a prophet of doom, but things will get worse. Look at Akpabio, Lawan, Hope Uzodinma, Doi Diri, just to name a few. That's from Franklin. Hello, Di. Why go to court if you resort to maligning the judges in the media? Either way, you win, because if the judgment favors you, then your gimmick worked. If it goes against you, then you'd say, we said so. This comment at best is maliciously sub judice, and whoever made it needs to be called to order. That's from Matt Paul. It's just an empty threat. Okay, I'll come back to this comment in a moment. Hello, Hard Fact, you're welcome. Please go on.
Daya, good evening.
Hello, go ahead.
Yeah, just like others have said, for me, is there any shame in Nigeria again? And threatening somebody with shame, whom shame don't help according to people, you give them the millions and the billions, they'll be celebrated. Our politicians themselves, you don't see somebody telling you a particular group is cancer, and he's partying them today. Is there any shame? So if you shame them, don't make any meaning to a Nigerian person. So, but anyway, people have to cry. But I'm afraid they know what thing that they do. You should go to court. Go to court, and what will happen? The thing which have been happening before now will continue to happen.
No, they said you're supposed to go to court. You're supposed to go to court to go get justice.
They have the police. So
that's the essence of going to court, to go get justice.
Business. Thank you.
Hard Fact, you're welcome. Please go on. Oh my. Hello?
Good evening, Dio.
Hello, go on.
I want to talk about this election issue.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh my. Okay, maybe a few comments then. Let's see. Hi, Dash. Just an empty threat. I think the current NLC is a shame. Why is it now that they want to create a hall of shame? There are still some states that have not implemented minimum wage of 30k. So many issues the NLC hasn't resolved to date. Nobody respects the NLC anymore. At times I look at our judiciary and I weep for the black race. Like you read, someone steals your yam and is told you to go to court. That because the person knows justice can come out from our court. It's a big shame to our leaders. But some of us still celebrate this guy stealing and destroying our future. That's Frank. Hello, Dan. I'm hoping that it'll at least make the judges know that the people are watching them and perhaps compel them to do the right thing. Well, perhaps, I suppose. Perhaps. Got a commercial break coming up in a short while, and also we've got headlines coming up at 5:30 p.m. Discussions continue after that. Also be reminded, the major news comes out top of the hour at 6 p.m. Still hard fact in Nigeria, info during Port Harcourt. NLC has threatened a hall of shame to shame corrupt judges as far as the election petitions tribunals are concerned. Do you think it will have any effect at all on the results from these tribunals? So stay tuned. We'll be right back in a bit. Cautions continue. Election petitions. NLC vows to create Hall of Shame for corrupt judges. That's the Punch newspaper. National President of the NLC, Joseph Ajero, on Sunday vowed that the Labour Union will create a Hall of Shame for judges that undermine the tenets of the judiciary and come up with ridiculous judgments on election petitions. And he spoke in Abuja at a joint briefing with members of the civil society group on the Labour and Civil Society front, stressed the need to rescue the judiciary. According to the NLC boss, the judiciary has set many states and institutions on fire. The judiciary has so many questions to answer, he said. If they fail to answer those questions within a short time, we would create a hall of shame for those judges that come up with judgment that create such problems. That will happen soon. There is a need for the NBA, for all arms in the judiciary, the bar bench, and all to speak out on what is happening in the judiciary and whether the judiciary is still the last hope of the common man. Now the destiny of the country is in our hands. It's either they fulfill it or they are betrayed once again. When they tell you to go to court, they're telling you that is the end of the matter. Somebody will still yab and say go to court. On what basis are those statements being used? That's the level of ridicule that the judiciary has brought. And as Nigerians, we all need to come out to rescue the judiciary, or else there'll be no need to continue going to court. The NLC's threat to create a hall of shame for corrupt judges, will they have any impact at all on the outcomes of petitions? The several elections petitions tribunals across the country. Let's get your take. Lines to open 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003 or 0007. We're on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Via Facebook, Israel Harrison goes, well, the Hall of Shame could work on some judges' minds who still have some drop of conscience in them. Judgments delivered by majority of judges on key matters require a dead conscience, which such a judge would need to meet the requirement of a dead conscience before they can sit. The inducements given help them meet this requirement to such a judge. The Hall of Shame is a technique dead on arrival. DOA. At Eden Esther 8 Twitter, or Ede Esther, 8 Twitter. This is just a moment. After now, it will die down. Hall of Shame doesn't mean anything to those judges anyways. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello, Mr. Bayo. Good evening.
Hi, go ahead.
My name is Aneka. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead.
Yes, on the issue of NLC planning to create a hall of shame for corrupt judges. You know, I think the opposite of hall of shame is, the opposite of hall of fame is the hall of shame, as the name implies. You know, growing up, when we were in primary school, if a teacher asks you a question in class and you are not able to answer it correctly, sometimes we'll ask the fellow students or pupils to say shame, shame, shame on you. And such will make you to brace up and read your books. But you know, on our judges on ground now, I don't think they have shame at all. They don't have shame.
Really?
You know, these people trade money for morality. What they look at is money. They don't care about anything that happens. Because the law court is a place that one's supposed to go and seek redress. You know, the law itself is not meant to kill. The law is meant to address the issues in the society. A law court is a place that when one goes to seek justice and redress and to get some relief in it, the Nigerian court is the other way around. The opposite is the case. I don't know, but we still need to pray for this country. Because the way things are going in this country, I think things is really falling apart.
Yeah, but just like you described, just like you described back then in school, you didn't want your classmates to say shame, shame to you, and you would want to buckle up. So you don't think the prospect of shame, shame will cause the judges to buckle up now?
It seems like the center can no longer hold.
Do you think that the prospect of shame will cause the judges to sit up now?
Where else can you find justice? So, if the judges, if they should be humane enough, they should think about what the NLC is planning to do.
All right. 0817-93 0002 or 0003 or 0007 numbers to call. Another message over here. Maybe a call first. Hello, you're welcome. Let's go.
Good evening, Dayo.
Go ahead.
This is engineer number. What I want to talk about is what you are saying. You see, what transpired in the election, and Nigerians were not happy the way the election go. Everybody was frustrated the way the election go. And now you have come to the table of justice. NLC are putting themselves into the battlefield. That battlefield they want to go. Nigeria judges and those who are leaders, that's when you come to occupy posts and collecting money. That's where we see leadership in Nigeria. If you come to responsibility like what is happening in Sudan now, you will not see anybody again. Leadership will be lacking. And I want to say that if the judges allow that thing that happened to Nigeria to succeed, what happened in the election to stand, it will scatter and it will going to affect everybody. They should not allow that thing to stand. Let them do the right thing. Make sure so everybody have a good contract. You should not allow rowdy place to stay and 419 to rule over the big good people. That's what my own take. God bless you.
All right, 13, hello.
Hello, Dayo. Good evening.
You're welcome. Go on.
Yeah, I read something in one funny cartoon my children keep here play with here, where an armed robber busted into some guy's house and asked him, "Your life or your money?" The man said, "Take my life because I'm saving my money for my old age."
Mm.
So it's like what these NLC are saying. I think these guys no longer need the shame. I mean, it doesn't mean anything to them again. Who cares about conscience and shame? So I don't think that will change anything.
Really? You're convinced that judges no longer care?
No. They no longer have shame. My name is Obamadu from Obibo.
Mm. For me, there's no impact NLC's warning will have on tribunal judges. NLC unions, not Nigerians. How many battles have NLC won? They always compromise when time comes. Again, with economic woes we experience, how many judges care where their names are, whether Hall of Shame or not? That's why I always say leaders' decisions when they are in power have a way to determine what their nation becomes. That's some Emeka Agba. Hard fact to welcome. Please go on. Hello.
Hello. I'm telling you.
Go ahead.
People say shaming the president, whoever, or the judiciary is not that necessary. But when you shame people in primary school, secondary school, they feel it, they buckle up, like the last caller said. Do you know what it means to shame up somebody in a nation? It's just like that same feeling. President is vicious, the governor is vicious. Publicly, name and shame. It's not just shame. People are just saying it's not necessary. When you are in the position, you know that it's necessary.
Mm.
The reputation is part of it.
You're probably the first person who thinks that who I've spoken to on this matter on the show today, who thinks that this will have an impact. Why do you think so? Oh my. What do you think? Will the NLC's threat have any impact at all? Sadly, the last caller is convinced that it will, but couldn't couldn't have a more elaborate conversation with him. Hello, you're welcome. Do go on. Uh, 91.3.
Hello, Dio.
Hello, go ahead.
Yes, I think that the NLC threat is going to put judges on their thrones.
Really?
Yes.
How so?
Dio, in law, we have what they call binding principles. There are certain principles of law that have been settled by the Supreme Court. And when you see judges who ought to abide by those principles, trying to evade the facts of the case at hand that tallies or marry those principles, I think it calls their integrity into questions. So the NLC threat is going to put them on the check that Nigerians are watching them.
Yeah, but then again,
principles that have been settled by the Supreme Court.
But then again, wouldn't you have to
prove? There's no way you can go home and rest that you are case for on this principle.
Wouldn't you have to prove that there was a corrupt act that took place? Even if a judge gives a judgment that is questionable, the judge cannot be held liable for that judgment. You have to prove that. I think you may have to prove that there was inducement or there was some act of corruption before a judge can be held liable.
We are not talking about holding them liable, but it should be seen. It should be seen that this judge has been compromised, or he didn't follow the principle of law that this case falls squarely on. When there's a case that falls on all fours, when the case is on all fours on that principle, there's no, the judge hand is the hands are tied. There's no way they can deviate from that principle. As far as that situation exists before them. So when this particular issue is presented before them and is forced on that principle, which the Supreme Court has held firmly and settled, there's no way they can do. Nothing they can do. We are seeing judgments of recent going outside the principle of law, and you're trying to question what happened. Just like those who do the contest election in a particular office and this in primaries, and the Supreme Court said, look, this is it. So it brings that into question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, 90.3.
Hello.
Hello, go on.
Good evening, Dayo.
You're welcome.
When the lawless are not the lawmaker, they expect we the lawful ones to be law abiding. That's what we're happening. Once anything they present to them, they will not at least package it for them. They are afraid of death. Instead of stamping to say the truth, because darkness is hovering over the university. Thank you.
90.3. Hello. Dial, among the politicians and judges, a good name is better than riches applies to Americans, British and non-Nigerians. Pity for their children and grandchildren, and that's from goodness. 91.3, welcome.
Yeah, Dial, good evening, sir.
Hello, do go on, please.
Yeah, I don't need to be a lawyer before I would disagree with the second to the last speaker that talked about principles. That when they fall in sort of a particular principle, this and that. Okay, now, this judgment they gave concerning the Senate president, one thing I know is that when a case gets to Supreme Court, when the judges give their, when they give judgment to that matter, the whole thing is over. Even if the judge does mistake, they will only talk about it, but that judgment is final. I've never seen any situation in this country where a case got to Supreme Court and the judge gave judgment And at the end of the day, look at the case of Imo State, Akpabio. What happened to all those people? Even if they fall short to the principle that maybe the person that spoke, maybe a lawyer, said, what happened to them? Nothing will happen. This is Nigeria. If you have money and you have connection, my brother, you can do anything and go free. I'm telling you the truth. This is Nigeria. This is not America.
Oh, well. Via Facebook, Daniel Paul goes, good evening, Dio. We do not have judges with conscience. They're all politicians. Hello, you're welcome. Please go on.
Hello, good evening, Dio.
All right, go ahead.
I don't want to remain anonymous.
Well, that's fine. Go on.
Thank you. Now, the question is, how are these judges appointed? How are these judges? Some of them are appointed. We have judges that, the female judges, some of them are, your husbands are governors, their husbands are former governors, their husbands are top politicians belonging to different political parties. And there is a saying, or I think the law says that judges are not exposed in public, but at least you can see their husbands in public. You can have whatever discussions that you want to have with their husbands in public, and their husband can take it to the bedroom and discuss with them. And the judges cannot take it to their colleagues and, iron the matter. You now ask, how did he know that they compromise and all that? Now, the judges also need to be promoted. We know how promotion is being made. Some of these promotions are not even based on merit. Those in high court, we like to go to the happy court. The ones in happy court, we like to go to the Supreme Court. The ones in Supreme Court that we retired, they want to retire well. So there are so many factors involved. Until the judiciary is fully financially independent, I don't think that we ever get it right. Our judges and the judiciary will continue to compromise. The politicians will continue to make use of them to get what they want.
You make it sound like only female judges judges tend to be corrupt.
No, not only female judges. I just use female judges as an example, whose husbands are top politicians and holding political offices.
Thank you. You're welcome. Hello?
Hello, good evening, Mr. Dyer.
Hi there, go on.
All right, my name is Comrade Jen Tolegban Otobo from Rumosi. Calling from Rumosi, sorry. All right, you see, our judges are corrupt and it is even increasing by the day. This is because I'm from Rivers State. Let me talk about Rivers State.
Okay.
You see, our governor, none of his cases that has ever gone to any court that he has lost. And
are you absolutely certain of that?
Hello?
Are you absolutely certain of that?
If what?
Are you absolutely certain that the Rivers State government has never lost a matter of court?
The governor himself, yes. I'm citing. I'm going to cite some other areas.
Okay, go on.
All right. Now, so you will see that this is a man that at all times will tell you that win first. I am waiting for you at the court. Win first. I am waiting for you at the court. You see, when our judges cannot even give what belongs to a party, where a governor will do an anti-party, or a particular individual, not just government individual, will do an open anti-party. And he will be the first person to run to court to restrict his party hierarchies, not to suspend him. And at the end of the day, you see that his prayer will be granted. Now, look at River State now. You see what just happened in INEC office, which is the right of every participant, election participant. You participated in an election, you are not okay with the election, how things were done, and then you try to seek for redress, and you are about to go to tribunal, you went to INEC office, you are failing your counterpart. An opposition, your opposition party will come and block the place as if they are agents of that commission, and nothing happened. nothing happened. Nobody questioned them. Nothing happened. So you see that these judges are making the Nigerians to believe that just do whatever thing you like, and then nothing will happen.
Even if you're right, even if you're right, and the Rivers State government, the current Rivers State government, has never lost a matter in court. Maybe all the matters they have in court or they have had in court have always been, maybe they've always been on the right side, and they have judges who always present compelling cases on their behalf.
All right. Okay. Now, you see that case that involves Governor Amechi, former Governor Amechi, and Omeya, where the Supreme Court made it clear that Omeya should never be addressed as a former governor. He was just like the caretaker for Amechi. He shouldn't have any benefit as a former governor. Wike came his first tenure. He thought he was like doing good. He's a good man. They now revoke all that are supposed to belong to Omeya as a former governor. It gives him fault.
I'm sorry, we have to wrap up this conversation right now. Sorry, okay, you're not listening to me. All right, I have run out of time. Apologies to that caller, but I do have to wrap this up right now. I've got a commercial break coming up shortly. Top of the hour at 6 p.m. is the major news. A review of all the matters discussed on the show today comes up afterwards. So that caller can call me after the 6 p.m. news during today's open season segment. Please stay with us.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to Nigeria Info.
We'll be right back after this.
How does it feel?